Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to our new edition in the Spouse Through Vedic Astrology series. And today we are going to use one very simple and a great concept of Jaimini Astrology, that is Darakaraka. And we'll be using Darakaraka to find out what qualities, what features and characteristics you can find in your spouse looking at the Darakaraka in your birth chart. This concept of Darakaraka is related to Jaimini astrology and it is different from Parashar astrology. So I'm going to tell you what actually Darakaraka is and how you can find your Darakaraka in your birth chart and how you can relate it to the features of your spouse which you are going to have, which you're whom you're going to get married in your life. But before that, if you're new to my channel and you haven't subscribed my channel, then please subscribe my channel. Press the bell icon so that you do not miss any of the videos that I post, because I am going to share the entire knowledge of Vedic astrology with you, and I'm going to teach you Vedic astrology so that you yourself can judge your chart. You don't need to go to any astrologer for any references. So let's start our video. Well, first things first, that what Darakaraka is. Well, in Jaimini astrology, Darakaraka is the planet that holds the lowest degree in your birth chart. You simply have to see that which planet holds the lowest degree in your birth chart. The planet that holds the lowest degree in your birth chart is going to be your Darakaraka. One thing that you have to note is that Rahu, Ketu, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, these 5 planets cannot be your Darakaraka. The Darakaraka has to be among the major 7 planets, that is the Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn. Your Darakaraka has to be among these 7 planets. You don't have to include Rahu, Ketu, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Now, one more thing that comes into mind is that what happens if last two planets have the same degrees. Well, in that case, you have to consider the minutes. If the minutes are also same, then you have to consider the seconds. If the seconds are also same, which hardly happens, but if the seconds are also same, then you have to look that which planet it is. If Venus and Mercury, suppose Venus and Mercury have the same degrees, same minutes, and same seconds, then you are going to give Venus the status of Darakaraka. Well, it is actually almost impossible to have the planets at the same degrees, same minutes, and same seconds. So you are going to find that Darakaraka, the planet that holds the lowest degree in your birth chart. Now this concept of Darakaraka is from Jaimini astrology, and Darakaraka represents the 7th house. Darakaraka holds the position of 7th house in your birth chart. He is that planet, the Darakaraka planet, is responsible for all the activities related to 7th house. And the most important activity related to 7th house is your marriage, your married life. So Darakaraka is used to look at your married life. Apart from this, Darakaraka can also be used to see or to time your accidents or your death. One of the greatest astrologer of India, Dr. K.N. Rao, has mentioned in some of his books that how Darakaraka can be used to time the events like death of an individual. But today we are just going to talk about how you can use Darakaraka in your birth chart to find out what kind of qualities your spouse will possess. So let's start with the video, guys. You can find your Darakaraka in your birth chart, that is the planet holding the lowest degrees. Now, after finding that, if your Darakaraka is Sun, well, when Sun is your Darakaraka, one thing that you can expect from his spouse is that he or she is going to be completely dependable. People who have Sun as their Darakaraka find a partner who is very much inspired to achieve something, because Sun is what? Sun is the source of light. So these people, they want someone who has got leadership qualities, someone who can manage the entire family, who can lead. And apart from that, these people get a life partner who is very much dependable, who can be a source of light to them, who can be a source of motivation, zeal to them, who can motivate them to achieve something high in their life. some high status, some high position. Now it depends on the dignity of sun in your birth chart. If your sun is Darkarak and sun is in a strong position, is in Aries or is in Leo, and in Navamsha also, if sun is strong, then your spouse is going to be someone who is related to government, someone who holds a high position at her workplace, at his or her workplace, and someone who can inspire you quite well. And these kind of people do get their partner, their spouse, who can really smooth their path, who can really inspire them, make them work hard for their passion and zeal. So this is one more thing. These people who have sun as their Darkarak also get spouse who have strong control over their emotions. These people don't just get astray with the heavy wind. So that is one more quality with the sun as Darkarak. Now if sun is afflicted by Rahu, then in that condition your spouse may not have very cordial relation with their father, or they may not have very strong control over their emotions. But rest, sun as a Darkarak will give you a dependable wife or husband. If moon is your Darkarak, then one thing that you can expect in your partner is the emotions. The emotional connect of your partner is going to be very good. Even you, the people who have moon as their Darkarak, are very good at the emotional connect. They are quite emotional, they are quite sensitive, so they easily connect with the other individual, with the other soul. One more thing with the moon being Darkarak is seen that these people get a spouse who wants to be at home. Even if they are working, they want to work from home, they want to invest time at their home, they want to give proper time to the family, to their children. So that is one very good quality of moon being a Darkarak. These people are enthusiastic. If moon is afflicted, then they may be overly emotional, which in some cases could be seen as not a very good sign. Apart from that, moon being a Darkarak, these people are very much social, they are very much socially adaptable. So this is also one good thing of moon. With moon as Darkarak, you may get a partner who wants a soul to soul relationship with you. They are a kind of individual who want an emotional connect. They are not looking for the luxury or something else. They simply want your time, they simply want some kind of attention. So this is one thing which you have to look. And when moon is your Darkarak, then you too yourself are very much adaptable in social relationships. So this is one thing related to moon. If Mars is your Darkarak, so when Mars is your Darkarak, your spouse is going to have a lot of Martian qualities, and the most important Martian quality is the passion, the zeal, and the athleticism. So you may find someone who has got immense passion, someone who is very good at bed, someone who has got that athletic figure, that athletic body, someone who is very energetic. If your Mars being Darkarak is not afflicted and it is strong, then you may get a spouse who has got very logical brain, very quiet, not very quiet, but I would say a very special type of problem solving, conceptual type of individual as your spouse, because Mars is also related to logic. So when Mars is your Darkarak, your spouse, and if Mars is not afflicted, your spouse can be very logical in his or her approach. And Mars being a Darkarak, the spouse can be very protective, and they are always on the front when there is something not fine towards you, or when something is not very pleasing towards you, or something, if they see that there is a harm or there is danger, then they are always there to protect you. That's one quality of Mars. But if Mars is afflicted and Mars is your Darkarak, then you may find a partner who may bully you. They may make fun of you because they've got high passion and you may lack that passion. So this is one thing you have to see with your Mars being a Darkarak. This is something that is very important with Mars being a Darkarak. You have to see that is the Mars afflicted or not. Because if the Mars is afflicted, then you may be bullied by your life partner, may be bullied by your spouse. If Mercury is your Darkarak, then one thing is sure that your spouse is going to have a lot of hobbies. Someone who is very good at communication, someone who loves to talk, someone who loves to communicate, and they have a lot of hobbies. They want to be, they are very jolly kind of individual. They are friendly to everyone. And these people, your spouse, are those kind of individual who actually value relationship before going into a legal marriage. They want to be friends with you. So with Mercury as Darkarak, it is seen in I won't say that in almost all the cases, but in most of the cases, or I've seen charts of, and out of 100 charts, there are at least 40 to 50 charts in which the people who have Mercury as Darkarak usually prefer their their girlfriend or boyfriend to be their life partner, because these people do value relationship. And with Mercury as your Darkarak, one thing you can expect is that you are going to have very harmonious communications with your spouse, provided your Mercury is not afflicted. If Mercury is with Venus in your birth chart, then this is a very good sign, and you are going to get someone as your life partner who is very luxury loving and someone who is very communicative. But if Mercury and Moon are together, since Moon and Mercury are enemies, then your spouse may have some kind of emotional problem, some kind of emotional trouble. So you have to see that. Rest, Mercury as a Darkarak is a very good planet to be a Darkarak, because it gives a partner who communicates with you at a very good level. And when the communication is good in any kind of relationship, whether it's with your partner, with your spouse, or with your friend, or with your any relation, then that relationship is strong. So Mercury is a Darkarak. A strong Mercury is a Darkarak is a very good sign of being a of living a happy married life. If Jupiter is your Darkarak, then one thing you can see in your spouse is that they are very philosophical in their approach. They've got a set of ideals, set of principles whom they believe, and they always kind of follow their throughout their life. They may or may not be religious depending upon the sign of the placement of Jupiter, but in most of the cases, the Jupiter being Darkarak, you get a life partner who is kind of religious. And since Jupiter is about expansion, Jupiter expands, these people do get life partner who actually expand their view about the world, about everything, about education, about religious beliefs, because Jupiter is related to spirituality, religion, and Jupiter is also expansion. So these people do get a life partner who expand their views about the world, about humanity, about philosophy, about religious things. Your spouse has the quality of has qualities like those of a mentor, someone who can guide you, someone who can be your mentor. They are wise, they are joyful, they bring prosperity to your life, they are very much creative. And it is seen that when Jupiter is a Darkarak and Jupiter is in place in good dignity, the wealth, the knowledge increases many folds after marriage. So Jupiter is a Darkarak. One more thing you have to see, that Jupiter is a planet that afflicted quite easily. So you have to look at the afflictions. If Jupiter is along with Rahu, then your spouse, they may be stubborn in their approach. They may be wrong, but they'll just stick to it. They can be practical. Jupiter and Rahu combination give you a very practical spouse, but they can be stubborn. It's difficult for these people to agree to someone else's point. So with Jupiter, you have to look at the dignity of the planet, especially with Jupiter and Moon. If Venus is your Darkarak, it gives you a spouse who is very much about relationship, who values love, affection, who is very romantic, someone who appreciates the comforts of life, someone who appreciates luxuries Also, Venus is about since Venus is the represent Shukracharya, the guru of the devils. These people do get spouse who is very much luxury loving, and apart from that, these people, their spouse actually are fair minded. They want to make your life easy. They don't want you to be impulsive. They don't want you to be judgmental. So when Venus is your Dar Karak, these people do get spouse who actually calms them, who actually guides them to be patient, to be fair minded, to not to be judgmental. Venus also loves worldly pleasures, so your spouse may be attracted to worldly pleasures. Someone who is very much into glamour, someone who is very much into beauty. Venus as Darkara can also give you a beautiful spouse, but that though any planet can give you a beautiful spouse. With Venus being your Darkarak, and if it is in strong dignity, you should listen to your spouse, especially when they're talking about the luxurious thing, the comforts, because they have actually good knowledge, actually better knowledge than you. So these are the certain qualities associated with Venus. Venus and Sun conjunction. If Venus and Sun are conjunct in your birth chart, then this can show some kind of marital disharmony. Otherwise, Venus as a Dar Karak is a very good planet, and you may get a spouse. If you are a male, you may get a female who is very much towards beauty, who appreciates beauty a lot. Actually, every female appreciates beauty, but those people who have Venus as the Dar Karak, they've got certain things to look for, especially in their partner, especially if they are males. Because Venus is the planet of beauty, and their spouse is definitely going to be very much beauty oriented. If Saturn is your Dar Karak, then you may get a spouse who is very much practical in his approach. Someone who lives in today and thinks about the future. Someone who is very much um, planning something. A spouse who is laborious, who is hardworking, who is practical, who does not live in a fairy world. He lives in present day and age, and he thinks about the future. With Saturn's Dar Karak, it is also seen that the age difference between you and your spouse can be slightly higher. Also, Saturn as Dar Karak may give you a partner late at time. These people are very much practical. They don't actually appreciate relationships, and they want someone who is very practical in their approach. And Saturn gives you a partner who is very practical, someone who is very laborious, someone who puts a lot of effort in maintaining relationships, someone who puts a lot of effort in making the relations harmonious at home. So these are the certain qualities of planets and how they actually the characteristics of your spouse. And Saturn also gives you a dutiful spouse, someone who cares about you, someone, if you're ill, they are going to take proper care of you. So the duty boundness is seen when Saturn is your Darkarak. So guys, this was a general analysis of planets being Darkarak and how they actually affect the qualities and features and characteristics of your spouse. There are certain things that need to be seen when you're using the concept of Darkarak, and those are, firstly, you have to look at the dignity of the planet which is being the Darkarak. Then you have to look what are the planetary aspects in conjunction with the Darkarak. You also need to see the Navamsha position of the Darkarak, because all these things are going to refine the characteristics and the features. What I've told you are the general specs, which are going to be defined by the sign placement, by the dignity, by the aspects and the conjunctions on your Darkarak. So you have to see that, and I'm going to make other videos also in which I'm going to tell you the sign placement of Darkarak. I hope you like this video, and take care guys. We'll see you in, and if you liked this video, please hit the like button, share the video with as many people as you can. We'll see you soon again. Take care. Bye bye.